la burper, la burper, la burper, la burper. Hey my queer little bookworms, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you have been having the most whimsical week ever. I'm sorry for this horrible quality on the intro. My last intro was buns. I do have a better intro with better quality on my phone, but guess where my phone is right now? At my school. I lost it the day before winter break. And honestly, I can go a while without my phone. The only thing is, I don't know where it is. And that constant anxious rush of and overthinking thoughts of I don't know where it is. I'm never going to find it. That's what's getting me. But nevertheless, I'm sorry that I didn't post a vlog. I was in such a bad mood because I didn't have my phone. So last week we skipped a vlog, but that's fine because we're going to be back on our grind again, hopefully, if I can find my phone and I can start filming. But I wanted to introduce this vlog. I recently decided I was going to maybe start a mini series of reading YouTubers 5-star reads. Now, they don't have to be booktubers. They can be YouTubers as well. I've seen other people do it with just like normal YouTubers that are like other niches and they aren't readers, but they still read their favorite books because they stalk their YouTube channel or something. Anyway, I decided I was going to stalk my favorite YouTubers Goodreads or a YouTuber's Goodreads or their YouTube channel and find out their favorite books and read them. Now, I thought it was the best person to start this series off with, this mini series that hopefully will keep going, none other than Haley Pham. I love Haley Pham. She introduced me to the book side of the internet. She is one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. She's up there with like Emma Chamberlain, Destiny Sidwell. You know, she's up there. So I decided I was going to do a video on her first. And I picked out 4 books. Some of them are recent 5 stars. Some of them are like back to her OG roots. OG book talk roots. So there's there's a mix in here. So I hope you enjoy. And also let me know if you want me to do any other YouTuber. As I said, their niche does not have to be books. They can be anything else. Heck, I saw someone do Shane from Smosh, and I really want to do that, but I'm scared of the books that he picked. But, sorry. With that being said, I hope you enjoy, and I hope I find my phone, and wish me luck. I love you. We are going to go on to our first book that Haley Pham rated 5 stars, starting with none other than The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Everyone knows what this book is. Everyone does. It's like an OG book talk book. Everyone knows. Everyone and their mother knows about this book. Everyone's read it. I'm surprised I haven't read it yet. This book follows Monique, a journalist who is not well known and is waiting to finally have that breakthrough to be somewhat at least known. In comes in Evelyn Hugo, a retired Hollywood actress, except she's just not an actress, an old actress. She was an icon back in the day. Okay, think Marilyn Monroe, but of their world. And she's not dead. So Evelyn decides to hire Monique to interview Evelyn, and she will tell her all about her life. Evelyn will tell her about her life, and Monique can now write a story about that. Well, a biography on her. Monique is confused why she got picked, but so be it, jump at the opportunity. You might be asking, Dennisa, why is the title of the book? And that is because Evelyn Hugo did have 7 husbands. So, and it's relevant in the story because the story is broken up into kind of like every stage of her life and every husband and what happened in that stage of her life with that husband. Additionally, this book is like a story within a story. We find out about Monique and Evelyn. just finished The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. As you can see, I think I'm going to rate it a 4.75. I overall enjoyed this book. The first, probably third of it, I was so invested. I got a little bored, like, at the halfway mark, just teensy bit. But then afterwards, I was still invested. I just feel like I could have been a little bit more connected to the characters. I will probably think of these characters often, but for now, I'm going to rate it a 4.75. Sometimes when I rate books 4.75, the rating goes higher after a while. I feel like at this point in every single video, I pop in with a voiceover saying I do not stand by my rating. And with this one, I do not. The highest I would give this is a 4 stars. Now that I'm thinking of it, usually sometimes someone else's rating, or because a book is so hyped up on the internet, I feel the need that I need to rate it the same amount of stars as everyone else did. I rated this a 4 stars because it did keep me thoroughly entertained. I was invested, okay? Why it's not higher, I do not think about these characters regularly, okay? Unless I'm, like, reminded of them. I don't even, And also, I kind of spoiled this book for myself. But because I saw, like, an edit on TikTok, and then it said The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo spoilers, but I don't know why I didn't scroll. So, that, it didn't play a big role, but, like, Moving on to our next book. It is none other. Sorry, that was really gross. None other than The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Read my second Kristen Hanna book of all time. I love Kristen Hanna because she literally writes the most empowering, she empowers women, and she writes the most heartbreaking novels about women. That's what I heard from other people, and I love The Four Winds. It broke my heart. I cried really, really hard to it. So it's time to read The Nightingale. I would recommend going into this book relatively blind or with this brief description, because the synopsis on Goodreads gives up away way too much. I feel like going into this book blind is honestly the right way to go. But from a brief description, it follows two sisters, Vianne and Isabel. It is told from their two POVs, okay? This is where things started to get complicated. So stay with me here. It takes place during World War II, when the Nazis are starting to invade France, okay, which is where Vianne lives. But it also has a present timeline, okay? There are present flashbacks, like, that aren't that, it's not flashbacks. There are moments that are from modern day, but it's very, like, it's from modern day, and it's only like a few times throughout the book, so you don't get too confused. But for majority of the book, it takes place during World War II, when Germany is invading France. I need a little bit of a light, fluffy romance, so I have Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've heard so many it's an OG book talk book. I've heard so many people rave about it, but I've also seen my fair share of bad reviews, people saying that it's a really cheesy book. But I started it today because I didn't want to bring The Nightingale to school because it's very awkward to, like, hold and stuff. and I didn't want to get in bad condition because of my backpack. So I'm on page 110 of this book. I also had a mental breakdown yesterday, so I needed a light pick-me-up when I went to bed. So I actually found this, I'm finding this so easy to read. I am eating it up in the sense that it's so easy to read. The pages fly by. Last night when I was reading it, I was reading and I was like, wow, 70 pages already passed by. I didn't even notice. It feels like it's been 20. I really am enjoying it so far. I'm just, it's not like I'm yearning to like pick it up. I just find it really easy and it's kind of like a big brain break.
This book follows Macy and Elliot. They have been childhood best friends ever since Macy and her dad got a cottage next door to Elliot. When they were about like 9-ish, 8-ish years old, I'm pretty sure. Ever since then, they spent mostly every summer together, sometimes Christmases, Thanksgiving. And in their teens, they eventually led to being romantically involved. Now, something happened in those teen years that they didn't speak to each other for a good amount of time. Now, I feel like it's like over 5 years. I'm not going to search it up, but it's probably like over 5 years. Now, Macy runs into Elliot, I think at a coffee shop. They're like, yo, let's catch up sometime. And we follow the past and present timeline of them as teenagers and what resulted into them eventually just not talking at all to now, like what happened then and now as adults, as actual mature people figuring out their lives. This book feels like either the blueprint or the carbon copy of almost every other childhood best friends summer romance book, okay? Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, I'm sorry, but this and that, it's like you read one, you already read the other. You don't need to waste your time on both books. Or there's like a few other books that remind me of this one, and hey, maybe this one's the OG. And I'm not trashing because nowadays it's hard to come up with your own idea. But yeah, like let's come up with a new plot line. Let's all lock in and come up with something new.
I'm trying to find a perfect angle to talk about this book. I finished this. And I have not cried. I honestly don't know why I didn't cry, because I heard people say that this is her saddest book.
I know we're tired of voiceover, Dennisa, but bear with me. Because of those claims that I said that people made, I read The Four Winds by her, and I enjoyed it so much. If I were to recommend you a Kristen Hanna book, that should be your one. Now listen. That one, I was sobbing my eyes out to the point where I could not, function. This, I didn't even cry. I probably think the reason I wasn't as... So, I like the plot. I like the characters. I went away from this novel with more information on World War II than I knew before. Because, although it's not a real person... the story isn't based off of a real person. These things happen to real people, okay? And I didn't know some of these things, okay? The more you know. And I do see some people say that most historical fiction is written about World War II and the Holocaust, and it can get a bit repetitive sometimes, and I see where they're coming from. This idea from all of the historical fiction books I've read, this one actually seemed like I've never seen someone do this. Now, obviously, there's a new idea. Everyone has a new idea. But I haven't seen anything similar to it so far in my experience. But I feel like I would understand if you had, let's say a sister or sisters. Maybe you would relate to this more and you'd feel more connected. I personally don't. So... hence why I don't know. I ended up on a 4.25 star rating. Maybe even a 4. The only thing that got me was sometimes I was like, what the heck is Isabel doing? Okay. Sometimes I was like, I supported Isabel through every single move that she did, every step she took. Sometimes I was like, what the heck is going on? And that was probably because I was locked out instead of locked in.
Hello. So, we have finished Love in Other Words. And I think I might rate it 3.75. Because I did enjoy it. I just don't find that I'm going to think about these characters. I wasn't that connected to them. But it was like a fun read, and it was fast to get through. Now, we're going to move on to their last book, Between Us, by Mahara McFarlane. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. But, see, you thought you were going to be able to get through this through Haley Pham reading her 5 stars reading vlog, and you thought you would be able to get through one without Mahari McFarlane being mentioned. Nope, you cannot do that.
I sincerely apologize. Her name's actually pronounced Vari McFarlane. I am now educated on that. Look at us being literate, guys. Wow. This book follows Roisin and Joe. As you can see on the cover, they are a couple, and they go off on a trip with their friend group to a cabin to celebrate 3 things: a birthday, an engagement, and Joe's new TV show that he made. I think he was one of the screenwriters. They are all celebrating that. And his TV show is starting to come out, like every episode is starting to air. The thing is, okay, Roisin notices in the TV show, she's like, yo, this is oddly similar to my life. The thing is, like, all of her secrets that she has told him is in the film all of a sudden, is in the TV show. So Roisin, she's like, okay, this is a little sketchy. Not only that, but the main guy character in the show is cheating on his girlfriend. And she's like, if everything I said to him is in this TV show, this is a carbon copy of our life, is he cheating on me? Ooh. And now she's like, what the heck is going on? And this follows a friend group, and it's also like the friends play a big part in this. It's all just them in a cabin. It sounds awfully like eerie and scary, but I promise it's not.
ended up rating this book a 3.5 stars. I'm still not going to mess with that rating, but I would have enjoyed this book more if I actually intentionally took time out of my day to read, but I only picked this because I was so busy. I only picked it up when I was going to bed, when in between breaks at school, at lunchtime. So I didn't intentionally have time to read. And usually in those settings, I'm either already tired or other things are distracting me. So I didn't have my full attention on the book. And with this writing style, it takes a little bit to get used to if you're not an avid Var McFarlane reader or you haven't read other books with this writing style. But so if I were to give you advice, take time out of your day, intentionally plan to read this book. That's not to intimidate you, but it's just like make time to read for this book so you can keep up with the writing, because I couldn't keep up with the writing and I couldn't keep up with what was going on in the story. So it was all just jumbled in my mind. But if I were to describe this book to you, to sell you on reading it, it'd probably be, you know, those books that are like trashy TV, that they have gossip, they're juicy, they're purely just to like fly through. That's what I would describe this book as, except if you don't want cringy writing and them having cringy dialogue. Like those books, I'm not saying that those books have bad writing. I just feel like some of them that I've read, it's just like simple, it's straight to the point, and sometimes you want something a little bit more flowery. Hence this book. So I don't know if that's an accurate, but that's my opinion on it. I enjoyed it. I didn't have my full attention on it. I wish I did. I am planning on reading other Vari McFarlane books. Let me know if you want to see that. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know if you want to see me do any other YouTubers, really. Write it down in the comments. Write down in the comments if you want to see any other video, because I'm trying to entertain you. I hope you have the most whimsical rest of your week, or the most whimsical week ever. And remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed or overstimulated today, go outside, touch some grass or snow, and I'll be here when you get back. Bye!